Welcome back to Professor Bet's Week 8 picks. Now let me tell you, this week is just way too big for just one video. So this will be an all NFL video where I'll include 11 of my picks, possibly 12. We'll see at the end of the video on how I feel. I'm still debating it as we speak. But there's a UFC video also coming this week for UFC 267. You won't want to miss it. Saturday, I believe it starts at 10. It's going to be absolute fireworks, a must-watch event. Let's go ahead and start off with our recap of our NFL picks last week, and then we can move into our 11 picks this week. Last week, we went 7 for 8 here at Professor Bets, but what was our one hiccup? That would be the Panthers versus the New York Giants. We made a little bit of a change to that this week. We look to make our money back from that one bet that we missed. We don't like to miss bets here, but we like to learn from our losses. I think the focus should be more on the 7 for 8 that we win. As the Bengals, who I said I think they can win the game outright, 6.5 was way too much. Vegas has been undervaluing them for probably 4 weeks now. I've been making so much money off of that. Last week was kind of the pinnacle. We'll see that start to come down as they are now on top of their division and no longer a secret, no longer one of those we don't know what they are anymore. They're now the top dogs to Vegas and that division. Another game worthy of mentioning was our Patriots versus the Jets. I told you guys I really like that. They didn't have enough time to make any good changes in order to see the Patriots again. They played just a few weeks ago. That came to fruition. Now, I know that Zach Wilson got hurt, but it wasn't looking good before it started. You saw the Patriots run away with that game. That was very easy to see coming up. That was easy money. We made so much money off of last week that we just had to do 11 picks this week. We're going to go ahead and start to kick off those picks now. Let's go ahead and talk about just the games. I'm going to bet because the numbers are too high. I'm going to bet for the team to win. I'm not going to make a lot of money on this, but it's sure money. This is called a savings account move here. First, we're going to put the Rams versus the Texans. The Rams are the exact reason why we don't bet big points. They should have destroyed the Lions, yet it was a 2-point game close. Now, Rams versus Texans, that's a minus 14.5 line. Not touching it. Just going to bet the Rams to win. The second pick here is the Bengals versus the Jets. Now, this is a minus 10 line, and I was really struggling on this because, like I said, the Bengals have been making me money all year, but I'm going to stick to my laurels here. 10's too high. I'm going to bet the Bengals just to win versus the Jets, leading us into our last, just betting the team. Probably going to put all those in a parlay, make what I can. Who cares? Bills versus Dolphins at a minus 14 line. The Bills are going to win the game. I can't tell you by how much. Next, we have our favorites. We're going to be betting the points and the win here. We're going to start off with the Cowboys versus the Vikings. Now, when I did my research, this line was minus 1.5. But I knew it was going to grow. I believe right now it's minus 2.5. By the time this video comes out, it might be 3.5. Either way, we're betting it. We're betting it all the way to 4.5, 5.5, anything under 7. I think it's a go because the Cowboys are a much better team coming off a bye. I understand both are coming off a bye. One team is 3-3 for a reason. One is 5-1 with a very good loss, as it turns out, to the Buccaneers, in which they played close. This is a top 5 team going up against, you're probably talking about the 18th, 19th best team in the league. We're going to see the Cowboys roll in this one, especially off the bye. Expect that offense to get right back to what they do, to beat people in the trenches, something that they've come back to this year, and it's really shown. Our next favorite plus points is the Eagles versus the Lions. I'm going to get some more pushback on that. Understand, though, the line is minus 3. The Eagles still have more talent on their side of the ball than the Lions have. The Lions have been unable to score touchdowns in the red zone. This is something that's going to continue to show. When it comes down to touchdowns versus field goals, the Eagles are going to be able to get into the end zone. I'm not so sure about the Lions. Do they get there once, twice? Maybe. But I think the Eagles are able to pull it out. Minus 3. I think the Lions win is coming. They're playing hard enough for that win to be coming. I think it comes week 12, week 13. I think they finish with maybe 1 win, 2 wins on the season. It's not going to be this week. My final favorites plus the points is the Falcons versus the Panthers minus 2.5. Like I said, I like to learn from my mistakes. And what I've learned is that the Panthers make a ton of mistakes. Now, the issue is the Falcons make some mistakes too. But when you look at it, I think that the Falcons can clean up some mistakes. I think that's their game plan going into the week, saying the Panthers are going to make a bunch of turnovers, a bunch of mistakes. Let's capitalize on that by not doing that. If it comes down to a close score because you're playing it safe, you have Younghoe Koo who's going to kick that field goal in at the end. The line is only minus 2.5, so that field goal is vital to our success here. We're going to bet the Falcons to beat the Panthers pretty handedly. I think that's done by limiting their turnovers. Now, getting into our upsets. I've had some people say, Professor Betts, you're a little bit safe. You're not super smart, you're just playing it safe. That is true. I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room. I just have to make consistent right moves. That's why I think our NFL picks are super high. I think we've only missed 3, maybe 4 NFL picks all season. And it's just because I like to be safe. But this week, I've decided to expand on that a little bit. I see some good matchups here for the underdogs. The first one that we have is the New York Giants versus the Chiefs. The New York Giants are getting a +10 line versus the Chiefs. Now, this is a no-brainer for me because the Chiefs usually don't cover the spread. And at a +10 line, it just seems a little bit like Vegas still believes they are who they were years ago. But understand that the Chiefs are no longer who they were. They've completely redone the offensive line. And that was secretly one of the strengths of the Chiefs offense was their offensive line. We didn't give them enough credit. Their defensive line is now injured. Expect for the New York Giants to be competitive on both sides of the front there, especially coming into a big game, a wounded tiger, as we would say. This is a game that the New York Giants can easily stay within 10. I think we see a great game from Daniel Jones. A side bet here, a prop bet. I might make a video of all prop bets later on in the week, but a quick prop bet that I would already bet is the over on Daniel Jones rushing yards against the Chiefs. They're going to let him leak out. He's going to be playing his butt off here, as Patrick Mahomes is often compared as the best young quarterback. A lot of these young quarterbacks like to play up to that. They come into the week motivated by that. We're going to see a lot of rushing yards out of Daniel Jones. Moving on to my second upset of the week. That is the Patriots versus the Chargers. This is my third horse. We've already went over the Bengals and the Cowboys. 2 of my betting horses here. Now they're playing the Chargers with a +5.5 line. Understand that the Patriots have 2 more good teams on their schedule, and one or both of them are must-wins. The Patriots played the Buccaneers very, very closely, losing 19-17, and the Cowboys going into overtime. Those are 2 top 10 teams, top 5 teams that they were able to keep close with. Now they're going to start winning these. You can kind of see them coming into their own. They're starting to move. They're starting to turn. They're starting to become the locomotive. Now, these are still going to be tough games. Do I think that they can win? Yes. I think it can also just be a close loss, as they're going to continue playing up to their competition. If they can win this game, if they can win versus the Ravens in a few weeks here, we might be talking about them reaching the 6th, maybe the 7th playoff spot. That new playoff spot might be theirs for the first year that it is here. Moving on to our third upset bet here, the Washington football team versus the Broncos. I'm not betting numbers on this. I'm betting the Washington football team to win it outright. The Broncos are still mildly overrated, which is a little bit shocking to me just because they haven't played any of their losses very well. Even last week, the Browns heavily injured. The Broncos were not able to take advantage of it. They didn't even look good during the game, despite the close score. I think that the Washington football team has had better losses than the Broncos have wins. I think they'll be able to win. I think that they're a little bit overrated. I think that the Washington football team's a little underrated. That's a +145 line. That's easy money. I'm taking that. Now, I have one final team here, and then we're going to get into our special bet, our 12th bet of the week. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it a little bit differently than we talk about the rest of these games. We have the Steelers versus the Browns. Now, that's coming to you at a +160 line. The Browns getting injured at the wrong time. The Steelers are starting to get healthy at the right time. And with the Cincinnati Bengals claiming the #1 spot in the division, you might see a bit of a fight coming out of these teams here to start to get back, because the Bengals were always known as the little brother. But now they're on top. A lot of the big brothers are going to start to push, make that final push to see, can we compete with this younger brother? It'll be very interesting to see. I think that the Steelers win this one pretty handedly. I don't think we'll see the rushing attack that we saw. I think, like I said in my last segment here, the Broncos are a bit overrated. I think that the running game took off from last week. I think we'll see some regression out of that. I would not bet the over on rushing yards for that running back. Let's just wait and see. Go ahead and bet the Steelers to win that game overall. Now, I told you I had one more bet, and that would be our Thursday night matchup, Green Bay versus Arizona. It's such a big game. I kind of want to stay away from it, as both teams have the capability of winning this game. But because of the Devontae Adams COVID, I must talk about the value that you're putting on this game. What we're going to see here is the line shoot up. We're going to see Arizona start to become heavier favorites, maybe a +4.5 line. We just may see that. If I'm getting a -260 for the Cardinals to win outright, I might step off of that and go ahead and run with the Green Bay Packers. They can still win this game, though it is not, I think, the most likely outcome. I don't believe it's the most likely outcome. I have always been a little bit squeamish when betting the Packers because they haven't been winning by a large margin against teams that they should. I don't believe that they're as good as the Arizona Cardinals, but can they win a one game win? Because Devontae Adams is out, it's going to force the Green Bay Packers to change, to adapt, to throw in a few things here or there. I don't know if the Arizona defense can prepare for that. Now, they have a bunch of studs on defense, so they will catch up. But can the Green Bay Packers get easy 7, easy 14 points, and then ride that transition out? I definitely think they can. I'm going to go ahead and bet the Green Bay Packers. If the line gets to a 270, if I can get a +270 for the Green Bay Packers, I'll go ahead and take that. Otherwise, expect the Arizona Cardinals to win that. This is such a big week, and with our UFC video coming on later on, I would like you guys to check out that video as well. For this video alone, though, please like, please follow, please subscribe. Guys, this lets me know that you guys are watching. If you guys are watching, I'm going to keep creating these. This is all I ask. This is not going to cost ever. This is just me giving out picks to you guys with a proven track record of making money.